Welcome to the ESCCA Podcast, the official voice of the EuroLeague Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association. I'm your host, Lovro. Join me for Skin the Cat episodes where we dive deep into the game-changing book, There is More Than One Way to Skin a Cat. With wisdom from 10 elite coaches, we'll break down their strategies, their ideas, and approaches to success in elite basketball. Let's elevate the game together.
Got it.
Reggie, first of all, thank you very much for being here. How are you doing? How is the season going for you?
First of all, thank you for having me. Season is going kind of interesting. A lot of flying, a lot of moving, so many games, so many hours on the plane and airport. But overall, we're doing okay in the Israeli League and Israeli Cup, which is very important for us. We're a little bit struggling because of the situation with the war in Israel and everything. But hopefully it will all end soon and we can go back to normal.
Yeah, hope that will happen for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, we are a bit in a time limit. You have work to do. I have work to do. So let's get into the book. The reason that we arranged this episode. So we choose to dive a bit into recovery chapters and traveling chapters of the There is More Than One Way to Skin a Cat book. Just to give a little bit of a brief, recovery has 8 questions in the book. Most of it is a lot practical, so a lot of coaches that are going to read it can straight away implement into their clubs, work with their athletes and similar. It's the 12th chapter of the book, and the question I chose for you is hydration, diet, and sleep are the 3 pillars of recovery. It takes time to educate players about this. Which methods do you use to bring more awareness to the players in this regard?
Well, first of all, as you read from the book, for me, hydration is it's good that you drink water also when we speak about hydration.
You see?
So when speaking about hydration, so one thing that we do is, it's not really a trick, but it makes your players think better. Every time we have recovery practices in between games, let's say we'll play Tuesday and Thursday. So on Wednesday, we're going to bring the team nutritionist to practice, and then we're going to have a urine test just to see the amount of hydration that the player is in. I mean, players after game, they are so overwhelmed and in high adrenaline, and sometimes it's amazing to hear that, but sometimes they forget to drink water or electrolytes or whatever. So one thing that we do is on the recovery day, we're going to bring the nutritionist to make a hydration test and then to see, how yellow is the urine or how see-through is the urine. And then we can say if the player is fully hydrated or not hydrated at all. And then we're going to throw some, electrolytes on him, Gatorade, Powerade, whatever. Make sure that until the practice is over, he's going to drink enough water or whatever we want him to drink. This is a small trick that we do in between games. And even if the player is, before he comes to the gym, in the back of his mind, I have this hydration test, I have to drink enough water. Well, the hydration test is not the reason to drink water, but they know that it's really important because we're going to test them for it. Because for us, a player which is not hydrated is not fully focused, is not fully ready, is not fully recovered. He's prone to, pull or tear some muscle. And overall, wellness, it's not only for basketball players, but overall people that are not hydrated are less effective. It's a fact. I mean, and for us, we take every small percent of how we can help the players recover and perform better. And for us, hydration, it's a big thing because we fly a lot. We spend so much time on bus, we play so much, we practice. Sometimes, your players lose track of how much they drink.
Yeah. Do you have problem, let's say for new players that arrive in the club, to present them the structure and the idea behind the gathering the samples every week? Is it sometimes a bit strange for them?
Yeah, first of all, it's strange. I don't know if every system does it. And also, players can be suspicious. They can say, okay, why does he want to check my urine? Maybe he's thinking I'm smoking or doing something which is prohibited. But we explain them, listen, this urine sample is only for the nutritionist. It's only for her tools. She's just checking if you're hydrated. He doesn't check anything else. The result stays between me and you. We're not checking for doping or anything. It's only just to see how much you drink. For some new players, it might sound strange, but if a new player comes and he sees all the players do it and they feel comfortable with it and they trust us, then it's not a problem. We're not going to do anything which is not acceptable for the player. If a player says he's not feeling comfortable, he doesn't want it, I'm not gonna make him do it. Okay, we are not the police. I'm just gonna throw him anyway. But when your whole system does it, then the new guys will join. Like it's a culture thing. Like the good habits the team has, the new guys will do it.
Makes sense totally. And when it comes to sleep, how do you track that?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, because for teams that travel a lot, that we have sometimes red-eye flights and we miss nights of sleep. And no matter what you do for your player, if your player is not sleeping well, nothing you can do to help him, to be honest. No treatments, not weight room, not, half of practice, only shooting. It's just lack of sleep is probably the biggest problem, not only in EuroLeague, but also in NBA and also other sports. So, to be honest, this year we're not using any technology to track sleep. We had 2 or 3 seasons which we tried to track sleep. It was an Israeli development. It's called the sleep rate. It's like a chip, same chip that you put in your shoe or on your jersey. It's a chip that you put on your bed before the player goes to sleep. He has to fill out a questionnaire, and then he goes to sleep, and the chip checks his quality sleep, how many sleep disruption he has, what was the pulse while he was sleeping. I know that there are many sleep technologies now. It's becoming a trend, and it's good because, you control your player almost throughout the day, but when he goes home, you lose track of your player. And if you can keep track of his sleep and how he recovers and what's the day readiness, then this will be a tiebreaker. But for now, we're not using technologies. We're just trying to control better the flight time, like choose better hours of sleep, choose better options of plane hours, better seats for the players. Like small example is when we fly, we try to arrange that every player will have 3 seats, just so he can sleep on the plane if he needs to and feel more comfortable and not sit, with 2 other people on the same row. And, it's all very tight and he sits in an awkward way. And then he finishes the flight and his back is totally fucked up. So we try to keep the quality of the flying. It's not always possible because, most of the time we fly charter, but sometimes we have to fly commercial as well. So we try to help the players with better quality of flying.
Yeah, interesting. You mentioned a lot traveling during these answers, and that's the other chapter that we chose for this episode is the 10th chapter in the book. Has 6 questions, again, very, very practical. And the one that I chose for you is great because during the season, I believe there's a lot of times where you have 3 games a week with the EuroLeague, with the domestic league, with the cup games that passed now. So I believe this is the right question to ask you. On the road, your team will play 3 games in 7 days. Access to a good weightlifting room is questionable. What do you bring in your equipment bag?
So this bag, his strength coach in the EuroLeague has this bag. He's not moving without him. Like for us, it's like a second small home that we carry with us. Basically, I try to carry with me as much as I can, in one big bag, which is totally full. It's resistance bands, it's mini bands, it's foam rollers, TRX. The equipment manager also helps me bring some medicine balls or some light weights from time to time, because we understand that some places we're going to travel or we're going to have limitations of time. And, sometimes you just need to take a big room at the hotel and make some, light activation or some light lifting with the stuff that you have, using a lot of body weight, a lot of resistance with the bands, small weights, like trying to help your players not to lose these days of work, because for us it's not really heavy lifting when you play so much. We have our days of heavy lifting during the week, of course, but also to recover the muscle tissue which was damaged during games or traveling. So for us, all this, working on your body, it's a good recovery tool, but it's good also for performing. You cannot play 3 games a week and not lifting even 1 day a week. And sometimes you travel to small hotels which cannot contain, 12 or 13 guys, and you need to find solutions. So this bag is supposed to be the weight room that you bring with you. So I try to push to this bag as much as I can. But just to spread that, you take a big room at the hotel You just say, okay, I'm taking ownership of this room. This will be our weight room if we don't have a decent weight room at the hotel. And like you schedule, like you tell these 3 guys to come in these 30 minutes, and then these 3 or 4 guys coming the next 30 minutes. Just try to create some working on your body, even if you lose the time of heavy lifting and you cannot do it.
Do you use, so let's take just EuroLeague here for example, in away games, do you sometimes use the club that you play against, their weight room, or is it almost every time in hotel?
Well, luckily for me, most of the EuroLeague teams have a good weight room. Okay, so like let's say if we have a practice, usually we come 45 minutes before the practice. Some guys go for treatment, some guys go with me to the weight room. Of course, all my colleagues in the EuroLeague I would say 95% of the colleagues are very open for it, and they use my weight room as well when they come to Israel, but they let us use the weight room. So this is a cultural thing. Okay, if you have good colleagues that understand the needs and they travel as much as we do, they have the same needs as we do. So like they let us use the weight room, and that solves a lot for us. Even if I have one guy who is injured and not playing when the team is doing the shoot around, then this player is going to go to the weight room. We can use it. Great. And for me, this is the optimal. Okay. It's not optimal for me to use the stuff that's in my bag and say, okay, we had a good lift. It's not really a lift. It's just trying to bring a solution when I cannot use a weight room. If I can use a weight room of the other team, that's perfect for me. If we have a good weight room at the hotel, it's really good for me. And also when we choose hotels, when the team chooses hotels, I can bring my input that says, okay, we want to use this hotel because it has also a good weight room, or we cannot use this hotel because there's no weight room at all and we're going to stay there for 3 days. So maybe we're going to change hotel just because of this. But it's always
Okay.
yeah, you always have to think not only how good is the hotel or how good is the food or how good is the room. If you have like a good physio room that the physio can treat, if you have a good weight room, like if you can have an ice bath at the hotel. So these are stuff we're trying to check. It's not always possible. Some destinations you're going to go and you just feel lost and you don't have anything. But if you can, if you have the option to choose, you should always choose the hotel with a good weight room that you can utilize the time properly.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, you're still playing all of your home games in EuroLeague in Belgrade, yeah?
Yeah. So actually,
So
Belgrade, we stay at good hotels. We use the Alexander Nikolic Hall, which has probably old weight room, but it has what we need, and it has good space. And we already, I'm not gonna say we feel like home, but we feel comfortable there, and we can, use the stuff that we need. We also use the facility of physio group many times to recover our players and to go work there and to have an ice bath. And if we need lifting, we come to the arena like 1 hour and 45 minutes before and go lift, have a good lift. After games, we can use the weight room for post-game lift. So, it's not as comfortable as Tel Aviv, but still because this is the second season that we've been doing it away from home. So we have, I'm not going to say amazing routines, but we have good routines now. Like it took us time to adjust because this whole traveling is really tough, but we have good routines of lifting. Our players also, they sometimes without even asking me, they get to the gym before they even see me in the gym, they just go in the weight room. So we have got good culture because we have some guys that has been with us for more than 3 or 4 seasons. So they know exactly like what do I expect lifting wise or taking care of their body or making the prevention routines before practice or after practice. So I'm really lucky to have intelligent guys that know exactly what I want from them.
yeah, to stay just for one more thing on this traveling part, when the schedule allows you, how many days before the home game in Belgrade do you like to be in Belgrade? Let's say 3-4 days before the games. When do you try to arrive in Belgrade to be as much as possible in the gym, in the weight room?
Yeah, well, it's a good question because of the situation of us needing to be half of the week in Israel, half of the week in Belgrade. So, I sacrificed a little bit. Like if you ask me what's the ideal is to be 2 days before the game in Belgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the situation that we cannot spend so many days away from Tel Aviv, then now we're going to practice in Tel Aviv on day before the game. We're going to practice in the morning in our facility, in our weight room, like with our treatment room, with our video room, with whatever is comfortable for us. And then we're going to fly from Tel Aviv to Belgrade afternoon. We're going to do shoot around on game day, play the game. sleep the night, recover better, and then fly the day after from Belgrade. I mean, if you ask me if there was no war situation and I had to go to a away game, I would probably say that 2 days before the game is the optimal because, from Tel Aviv to fly all over Europe is not a short flight. The only short flights we have is Greece. All the other destinations are kind of far. It's like 3 hours 3 hours and above. So let's say you're traveling to Baskonia, which is a 5-hour flight, then you need this extra day in Baskonia just to recover. Like, so if you play Thursday, you fly Wednesday, I don't know, it's a little bit crowded and the recovery after the flight will not be optimal. But if you fly 2 days before, then, you have time to practice, time to recover, time to adjust to the weather, time to adjust to the gym. And in a normal world, in a pink environment, I would say 2 days before. But sometimes in EuroLeague schedule and EuroLeague flying, like for me, I found it's smarter to sacrifice and go day before. But our situation is kind of different. Like there's no book how to manage a team in wartime. Okay, some of the Serbs, the Croatians maybe can identify because they have been through wars and everything. Managing a team from Israel that cannot play at home, it's very, very complicated. Like the logistics is crazy.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay, we covered the questions from the book, as I mentioned in the previous episode, and I'll probably mention it every episode that's coming. The best and the quickest way to grab your copy is by DMing Lucas Villar or ESCCA profile on social media. Reggie, do you want to add maybe something regarding the book before we continue? Or
I just want to say that this book is, I mean, as someone who works a lot of time in the field of basketball, is amazing to see the similarity and the differences between coach, because you can see some same answers from different coaches, and then you see in different subjects something totally different, and you get all opinions and all ways to do stuff. And for me, it was really interesting, like to see how my colleagues are doing stuff, even though I know most of them perfect. It was nice to read that you still can learn from your colleagues, and you still can say, I'm doing a good job if I'm doing same thing as he does, or I'm doing something totally different.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, to go now into a bit of general questions. As I mentioned in the intro, you played on a pro level in the EuroLeague with Maccabi, if I'm not wrong, in 2005, which is a long time ago.
So let me correct you. I won 3 EuroLeague titles as a player. You missed 2 EuroLeague titles. And I also I also have one as a second strength and conditioning coach in Maccabi in 2014. So basically I have 4. And I'm trying to win another one, but it's very tough now.
I will get it, I'm sure. You're in a culture that's known for winning, so it will come again. I'm interested in your transition from player to coach. How did your experience, especially with a top-tier team like Maccabi Tel Aviv, influence your approach to becoming a strength and conditioning coach?
So for those who don't know, I was a player, but I was not a very talented player. But I always was really attracted to all the strength and conditioning field. Like for me, the strength and conditioning coaches were always such an interesting figure on the team. And at some point, at the age of 24, 25, I understood that I'm not going to be this amazing talented player I was thinking I was going to be. And then I said that for me, it was only natural to go and study the field of strength and conditioning. The first job I had was a Maccabi junior club, which I did it for 10 seasons. I had an amazing experience. I could develop young players, and I could help, players become professional and seeing them succeed. Then I went to work in some first division men's team of Herzliya, which is a good, let's say, it's a good place to start with. It doesn't have the pressure of Maccabi, but it does give you the option to grow as a coach. And then I had one more season with a team named Gilboa Galil, which we played the Israeli League, and we also played the Balkan League. We won the Balkan League. It was a good experience for me. It was the first time I'm managing a team that plays more than once a week. And then I came back to Maccabi for 2 seasons to be a second strength and conditioning coach. And then I think 11 years ago, I became the head strength and conditioning coach, and I'm doing this job since then. For me, if you ask me, every coach has his advantages. One of my advantages is that I was one of the guys that's sitting in the locker room. I know, I'm not going to say exactly, but I know how a player thinks, what a player needs, how does he feel at any given moment, like what's the right way to approach him, when to be tough, when to be soft, when to be, a listener, when just to talk. I would say something which you cannot teach is having a good court awareness. Like, you can see a lot of good strength and conditioning coaches who were never players that don't have this court awareness, like when is the right time to say something, or where to stand in practice, or when to push your players, or when to, bump head with your players. Like, so I would say that one of my advantages of being a player, turning into a coach, is just, having this feeling of what it feels like being one of the players. And when you get the head and the heart of the player and you understand like how to act, then, that's 50% of the job. Because let's say the professional content, we all know, we all good at, but a lot of that falls on the way you behave and how you manage yourself. So I think the way I manage myself helps me a lot of times getting the players more engaged into the process.
First of all, I need to say that you cannot say you were not a good player playing on a EuroLeague.
It's a
Yeah,
problem.
but you were with them.
To be honest, I learned so much from these guys about routines, about habits, about the right things to say or right things to do, or the wrong things to say or wrong things to do. And you see like top level players, first of all, it makes you want to be better in no matter what you do. If you play, if you coach, if you, I don't know, work in an office, it makes you want to excel in whatever you do. And it makes you smarter, especially when you're a player who's not playing a lot. You have more time for observation, like for teaching yourself, because they are busy with playing, and you are busy with watching them. So, you watch
Yeah.
Nikola Vujicic, you watch Charas, you watch Anthony Parker, you watch the basketball coaches, you watch the strength and conditioning coach, and you absorb so many stuff. At the end of the day, for me, if you ask me, I cannot speak about myself. If you ask me why I think I would be good, it's because I had these people around me.
I understand. Did you start studying strength and conditioning while you were still active
Yes,
as a player? Yeah? How long before retirement?
I would say 2 years before I retired, I started studying already. And when my first job at the junior club of Maccabi Tel Aviv, I was studying in the meanwhile.
Amazing. Do you believe, because you're in a very unique position, I'm not aware of coaches like you, that there were players before. So do you believe that you have maybe an extra respect with the players since you were in their shoes and they maybe listen to you more than they would listen to another coach? Or would you say it's not difference?
There's a sentence, you cannot bullshit the bullshitter. Okay, so I'm guessing, if I come to a player and he wants to give me some lame excuse or something which is not acceptable, then he will know that maybe, okay, this guy was around, he's seen all players, like he worked with the best. Like, I cannot just give him an excuse and he's gonna buy it. Like, they know I've been through, although I'm not very old, I've been through a lot in my system, okay, good things and bad things. And I don't know if respect is the word, but they know that you know. Okay, like whatever excuse you're
Yeah.
gonna give me, I probably heard it before as a player, as a coach. Like,
Yeah. So you are in an advantage position. That's for
I
sure.
think so.
You mentioned the junior team a few times. What would you say was the biggest difference between coaching younger guys and now the first team, the seniors, the pros?
Oh, for the load for me, the load on young players takes part in practices, in lifts, in individual work. In men's team, in a EuroLeague team, like the load is in game, and then you are more busy. And I don't know if I'm sad to say this about myself, or I should be proud saying this about myself. But when you work in a EuroLeague team, you are a lot of time like a holistic coach. You just think how to recover your players to perform for the next game. Like, there's hardly time during the week to load your players, to lift heavy, to have like a crazy, I don't know, basketball workout. Like, okay, if some guys are not playing or playing less minutes, then these are the guys you can push. But most of the guys, it's just guys that you are busy with recovering them better. Like, you just think how to, I don't know, take some time off the court for them, have more time on the physio bed. And when you are working with young players, it's like you're working without any inhibitions. You just push. Okay, of course, with a good thought behind it, good principles. You don't want to kill the guys, but still, you have time to work, you have time to load, like you have more time to recover, so you can push the players more. When you're working with EuroLeague players that play 3 times a week, it's really hard. It's
Yeah,
more
makes sense.
When you work in a EuroLeague team, it's much more managing the load of individuals. Like you become, okay, I'm coaching a team, but still you have to manage the individual better. Like you have to find everyone is so different. You have a player who is 31 years old with many injuries, and you have 20-year-old player who's totally healthy and you can push. Like, so one guy you need to recover, one guy you need to load. One player is playing 3 times a week, one player is not playing at all. So you just have to tailor the right suit for each player. It's totally different.
Yeah, makes sense. You're one of the, let's say, creators of the ESCCA, a very meaningful organization in the world of strength and conditioning in basketball. What do you think is the most significant benefit of the ESCCA for basketball professionals, and what has the organization contributed to the community in your eyes?
The very basic answer, I would say, it's maybe too simple to answer, but just to get better. I mean, when a coach gets better, his player will get better. And it's all been, this is, I don't know, my 13th season as a coach in EuroLeague. And, like, let's say 10 years ago, you would go to a different gym in a different country. You would meet the strength coach, you would shake his hand or hug him, and you speak for 5 minutes, okay? Although there was huge appreciation between everyone, there was not really like discussion. Now we have time to discuss. We have time to meet every summer in the clinic. We write books together. We have a WhatsApp group. Like if I have a problem, if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to call Luca, I'm going to call Costa, I'm going to call Jure, I'm going to call Justino. Like you have an address because, okay, I can ask, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I can ask coaches from Israel, but it's not really relevant because they don't live the same load as my team, okay? And if you ask...
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and if you ask another coach who experiences same number of flights, same number of games, then probably you will get a better answer. So for me, it's this address you have for questions, or you want to be a mentor for someone, or just having this group of great people and great coaches together, wanting to get better as a group, as individuals, as a system. Like, let's say, for Maccabi, Tel Aviv, it's amazing that Reggie can speak to Kostas. Reggie can speak to Luca and ask questions and get better and find different ways to do stuff. Or we do something in Maccabi for 10 years and we want to find a way to change it. We want to hear different opinions. I can call another team and ask them. And this is something which didn't exist before. And for me, to be a top level guy is you need to surround yourself with top level people. You cannot, you're not a cowboy, okay? You cannot do this on your own because this world is getting crazy good. And you have so many good coaches, not only in EuroLeague, in NBA, in EuroCup, in Croatia, in Serbia, in Turkey, in Spain, in Italy. Like you have so many good coaches. Like what pushes you to be better, how you learn. You learn from different good coaches. You cannot learn only by doing stuff on your own. So when we have this community, when we have this group of coaches and people that share ideas and like spend time together every summer for 3 days after, we have crazy seasons. The first thing we do after we finish the season, we get together all coaches, which is amazing for me. Like, this hunger to get better and the thirst for knowledge you cannot teach that. If you don't have it in you, you will not get better.
Yeah, a lot of facts here. And for the listeners, a great opportunity to learn will be again and to network and connect with people. Will be again this summer in Torino, Italy, June 27th, 28th. I believe it will be another great conference, another great place to be for a basketball strength and conditioning coach and to learn a lot of new stuff. To finish off, because we will get cut off pretty soon, what do you hope to achieve long term in your role as both coach at Maccabi Tel Aviv and as a part of the global basketball conditioning community?
First of all, as Maccabi coach is, of course, the main goal when working in Maccabi is very clear, is to win titles. Okay, this is number one goal when you work in Maccabi. All the other stuff is, is nice and respectful, but, you need to win titles. I want to continue implement my system, my culture of work for the players that come to Maccabi. For me, each Maccabi player is an excellent person, is an excellent worker. And this line that I want to keep, I want to believe we're doing a good job with it. And I want to continue building this culture for Maccabi players. And, for the strength conditioning coach world, I want to see more ex-players becoming strength coaches because this is something which is missing to basketball. It's such a big advantage of being a player and then becoming a coach. And you see a lot of players that they finish and it's either they quit basketball or they become a basketball coach or basketball GM. If we're going to have more basketball players that become a strength and conditioning coach, I believe that the field will be much more respected. People will look at this field in more sexy eyes, let's say. It will have more fame, it will have more exposure. So for me, this is something that I really want to do. I already in Israel, I have a lot of ex-players that I'm mentoring as a coach. And this is something I'm trying to achieve. And I really hope it will succeed, not only in Israel, but also all over Europe. This is something really important.
Amazing goals, most definitely. Reggie, thank you very much for your time, for sharing your knowledge, giving the feedback on the book to the people that are listening to these episodes. And yeah, hope the season will finish off in the best way possible.
So thank you, Lovro, for your time. Thank you for doing this amazing thing for us, handling all this media interviews. You are becoming the young face of the organization, and it's great. And thank you for everything.
Thank you, Reggie. Have a nice day. See you soon.
You too.
Bye-bye. You've been listening to the ESCCA Podcast, the voice of the EuroLeague Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association. I'm your host, Lovro Milkovic. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, follow us on YouTube, and visit our website at escca.net. Discover exclusive benefits with our membership program, stay ahead with our newsletter, and get the latest updates on Can't Miss live and online events. Until next time, stay strong and keep elevating the game.